Good morning.
There's a
Cup of coffee.
for you.
That wouldn't happen to be Father's coffee, would it?
No, it wouldn't. In a certified mug, which is rather appropriate, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to leave.
Yeah. So, what do you think of my coffee?
Well, I like the cup. I don't know about the coffee. Hold on.
I put that Delight creamer in mine.
And so, what kind of tasting notes does this have?
Yeah. It's coffee. So morning, Doug.
Good morning,
Yeah,
Stuart.
yeah. Nice to see you. You don't have to drink it. You're my coffee connoisseur friend, my new friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's percolated office coffee. Is
Yeah.
what it is. You know, you don't have to drink that. But we met. When was it? We met 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now.
It's probably been about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you are a certified Louisiana member. And as such, we were out filming a little piece about your operation.
Correct.
And you happen to share a passion with me. And that passion is, as your cap suggests, coffee.
Coffee.
Could you just introduce yourself and tell the folks who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Doug LeBlanc. What do I do? Well, do we have all day?
Yes. That's the beauty of podcasts, is there's no timing on this.
Well, I do several things, but my primary passion is roasting coffee and providing just the very best coffee.
Okay, how did that come in? See, I know the answers to these, but so I'm wondering how I wade into this, because when you say the best, this is like obsessive, isn't it?
Okay, all right. So I don't know where you want to begin with this. I mean,
I need to establish, when you say the best,
Okay.
what are you talking about here?
Okay.
What is the best cup of coffee in your mind?
all right. So the best cup of coffee in my mind is a La Marzocco GS3 espresso maker, manual paddle, pulling the shot, grinding, and I just discovered a brand new brand for grinder. It's Malkonig E80S, and I'm telling you, I fell in love with it. I'm like, okay, this is it. And so I pull my grinds after I've dialed it in, and so my objective is to get about 50 to 55 grams of espresso in about 30 seconds, and develop with, now this particular coffee, when I talk about the best,
Yes.
I'm talking about a coffee from India, from Malabar province.
Okay.
And this coffee is grown in small sustainable farms, shade grown, just, chickens, avocado trees, coffee trees, right?
Okay.
And there's a guy named Malin who I buy my coffee from. I'm not sure if his father, Dr. John, maybe, I think it's his father, that developed the blend. They're from India.
Sure.
And so they started importing it. Well, Malin lives in California, so they import it from India. And I stumbled onto this about 30 years ago. Like I was just looking online, trying to figure out, I haven't found the right coffee bean yet. And so I started reading about this, and I started reading all that this Dr. John did. They developed this profile. And what's even more impressive is that I've been buying this, Stuart, now for over 20 years, and it is always the same. Like, this just doesn't happen, right?
I think we're getting to where I wanted to get to. I think we're underappreciating, because I just asked, what is the best cup of coffee? And we took a world tour. And I'm pretty sure you went to a different place halfway through that. When you were talking about your grinder, I think I saw you in your grinding room, with that grinder.
Okay, but it all starts with the coffee bean. So I got to pull that into this scenario, because with you can only get good coffee with good beans. Okay.
Garbage in, garbage out?
That's correct. And so, but then that opened up a whole nother problem. Well, I got to roast it. Okay. So I spent the last 20 years trying to figure out how to roast this coffee, because this coffee was like crazy. Like it was green beans, dried beans. It had 4 different beans, some little tiny beans, some big beans. And I'm like, well, this is driving me nuts because it was just very difficult. Let me just.
So how do you go about tackling that problem? Because most people, when they think of a good cup of coffee, they're thinking brands and things. We're talking right from the source. So here you have sourced these beans, and your problem is how do I roast these
them,
beans?
Roast them.
So,
Right.
all right, how do you roast a bean? What's that process like?
Okay, well, once you find a good bean,
I'm talking about the green original, like off
correct,
the
right.
tree. Is coffee grown
Once
on a
you
tree?
buy the bean, well, it comes. All right, now you're getting into a whole nother
I know
problem.
nothing, which
Yeah,
is why I was
so-
eager to talk to you today.
So pulling the beans off the tree, they're berries, okay, cherries.
Okay.
They look like a cherry. They're, and so there's fruit around it, and inside there are 2 seeds typically. I mean, sometimes there's 1 seed, and then we get into what we call pea berry, but then let's not go there.
No.
So once they get the bean out, now they have to process it.
Okay.
There's different processes like.
And does the farmer do that in this case?
Well, no, the farmer grows it. He brings it to a processing plant.
Okay, as like a berry.
Yes, the cherries.
Okay.
And then they take them and then they process them. And there's different processes, but that gets into a whole nother, probably another episode.
Okay, so they're at a processing plant, and out of the processing plant comes the green coffee bean,
Correct.
and that's what you buy.
Right. After they've dried it and brought it down to the right humidity, it's got to be around 14%
Okay.
moisture content. And I do check my moisture contents. I have a moisture meter if I find that I'm having trouble with it. But I've been roasting so long now that I can just look at a bean and like, okay, I think I know what to do with this.
You size up coffee beans.
Yeah,
when
but you know what? That's not perfect.
okay.
Like for instance, I just bought a bag of it's called blueberry jelly.
And when you say a bag, you're talking about a large bag of green.
Well, this was a small bag. It was like 51 pounds. Typically, a bag is 132.
But you're talking about the original processed bean that you then roast. So you always buy beans pre-roast, and you roast them yourself.
Green. I buy green
Okay,
beans,
yeah.
and they come from the farm in different bags. Some come in about 157-pound bags. Some come in 132-pound bags.
Okay.
Some come in 100-pound bags, and this one particular coffee came in 50-pound bags.
Okay. Finish your thought.
Okay, so I took this bean and it says blueberry jelly, right?
Yes.
So you're thinking this guy tastes like blueberries, right?
You'd imagine.
Well, that's what you would think. So I roasted it and man, I thought I hit that spot on, and then I tried brewing it and I'm like, nah, that's not right.
What did it taste like?
It was good, but it just, I don't know. It really didn't taste like what I was envisioned in my.
Was that a problem with the bean or a problem with the process?
Probably the problem with my roasting.
Okay.
Because I got a feeling right now, in fact, when I get home in a few hours, I'm going to be roasting some more because I think I'm on the trail. I've roasted 3 bags already, okay? And I keep getting lighter on the drop. So, and I tried some yesterday and
You like a lighter
roast.
So it goes in green, it comes out brown, and the shade of brown.
The shade, yeah, how long you roast it, the temperatures you drop, after you've roasted it for a certain time period. It all lends to whether you have a dark roast, a medium roast, or a light roast.
Okay.
And that's typically how we judge them, right?
Sure.
So when you go to the store, now I'm a little more anal. I'm like, that's more like a positive L. That's a little on the heavy light, or a negative L. That's on the lighter light, right? Medium, negative. Well, that's kind of the end of the medium, beginning of
Most
the light.
people's spectrum has 3 stops on
And
it.
I have
Yours
about
has...
6.
Okay.
And I used to have about 12.
Why'd you go from 12 to 6?
Because it was just too anal. People just weren't, like, well, what does that O mean? What does that O plus or minus with the less than, greater than sign mean? Well, And then I start getting into all this, and my wife looks at me like, stop.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you still married? Because this obsession really caused a problem.
Well, you know what? I got her involved in the business.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about the business.
She's my partner.
Of course.
Yeah, Martha and I. In fact, I couldn't do it without her.
Okay, so what's the business? Tell us the business name and how the business works.
So we still got to get back to the best coffee.
Oh, we're going to get back to it, believe me.
All right. So
you brought Martha up, so we go Martha.
Fathers is the name of the business.
Okay.
And it came from my youngest son. Him and his wife came up with the idea, and it's not possessive; it's plural. So it's fathers handing down generation to generation.
Nice.
So I'm the beginning.
Okay, so father's coffee, and where do you sell?
And so Martha and I, about 7 years ago, were approached by a friend of ours, and she says, man, this coffee's fantastic. Why don't y'all go to the farmer's market? And we kind of looked at each other like, this lady's nuts, But then we started talking about it, and we decided, well, let's maybe pursue this.
Sure.
So we applied, and about 2 months later, we got accepted, and that began the journey of fathers. We really didn't have a name. We just went, right? And it was rough at first. If we sold 15 drinks, we were doing like okay, and then every year we just kept it just kept growing, word
got out.
Oh yeah, and I guess my goal was that every cup has got to be the best cup of coffee you ever had.
It's quite a bar to set for yourself.
Well, but I expect that for myself.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do it for me, I'm going to do it for everybody. So that's why when we go, we use only the best ingredients. I buy the highest quality beans, and this is why I say I only sell the best, because based on my expectations, like I expect a really good cup of coffee, and that's what I try to do for everybody else.
So we met you out at the Thursday Pennington Market here in Baton Rouge. You're there, obviously. Is that every week you're there?
Every Thursday.
And Lafayette? Where in Lafayette?
We're at the Lafayette Farmers and Artisan Market on Johnson Street at Munkus Park.
And you were just brewing up and making the best cup of coffee for everyone that comes over and wants a nice brew.
Man, we are kicking butt.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. So I will attest, you made a set. So this is going to sound nuts. We show up for production events, right? We pull up to your house. It's another production event. And I'm drinking coffee from the gas station, like I always do, on the way to your house. And you come out to meet us. And you said, hey, can I make you a cup of coffee? And I said, no, I just drank one, thanks. And I took 2 steps and realized what you went. I was like, I'm sorry. So yeah, of course I have a cup of coffee. So you were kind enough to sit us down in your kitchen, me and the guys, and you made us a coffee. Man, I'm telling you, it was a beautiful cup of coffee.
Oh,
I mean, it was it was memorable. It was one of those moments. Yeah. So, and also when we left that shoot, you were kind enough to give us a bag, which we waited the 3-4 days you said to let it sit.
Right. Yeah, it was freshly roasted.
Yeah, and then I shared it with my wife at the optimal time of day. It was in a French press. It's about as fancy as we get in my house. First thing on the morning. So it's her first cup of coffee and high marks. She did have one problem with it, though, and that was the bag wasn't big enough, which I thought was actually kind of a compliment. Yeah, so we got through that real quick, and it was a delicious cup of coffee. But there's a difference, is my point, between the coffee, even though it was your coffee, and that I made in a French press, it was good. That coffee I had at your dining room table was memorable. So you're talking about the process affecting that final product. We talked a bit about like roasting. I get that there's some intricacies in temperature and things that affect the flavor of the bean once it's roasted. But like, how do you think about making a cup of coffee from that point? Like, what's involved in making the best cup of coffee?
Once you've established the roasting process, and once you've perfected the bean, optimized the bean to be able to pull out the flavors.
Optimize the bean. I love that phrase.
Then the next step is, what do you do with it, right? Well, that was a whole nother venture that took me from a $200 espresso machine to a $8,000 espresso machine, and a $4,000 grinder, and a puck press.
Is that what I saw in your kitchen?
Yeah, and so you got to understand, it's a sickness. I mean, I can't do.
I got that vibe from you. I liked it, by the way.
I can't do anything normal. It's got to be always abnormal.
So what is it? So all right. What is it about an $8,000? What was that machine? 8,000.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing about the GS3, it's a La Marzocco. If I said that right, I probably slaughtered it.
I wouldn't know.
Anyway,
I'm just going to say
it's Italian. It's Italian.
Fancy.
So no, anyway.
Sidebar: my brother, he works all over Europe, and he goes to Italy just for their coffee. He has some fancy tools in his kitchen, not anything at the level that you do in your kitchen, but interesting that the manufacturer of the high-end thing is Italian.
Oh yeah,
I've heard about their coffee.
Yeah, and I have an Italian grinder, but I had mentioned the Malkonig, and I've never used one, and I just recently bought one about 2 months ago, and I am like, I'm enamored. It is like the
what is
best.
it? Like, as an ignorant, treat me like a fifth grader. Like, what is it about? What makes a $2,000 grinder better than a $200 grinder?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Do we have an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing: the Mazzer, which is Italian, and I've been using that Mazzer, the Robert S, for a long time. I don't even know how long. But anyway, it's like a bull in a china closet. It does a great job. It grinds, it's fast, but it throws stuff everywhere. And it's not real accurate. Like it's like the Malkonig is finesse. And when you grind, it's quiet, it's clean, everything goes into the puck. And it's always the same. Perfect. I'm like, wow. The Mazzer's good, but it floats off of grind. Like, you have to constantly be adjusting it.
Okay.
Like, and that's okay. You probably should, as a barista, tweak your machine, your grinder. Well, I call it dialing in your grinder with your machine at the start of the day, every day. This Malkonig, you don't have to do that. Like, it is spot on. Now it's not perfect. The other day I did have to tweak it, but the way you tweak it is like, oh my God, this is like amazing.
How do you tweak?
Coffee
grinder.
Okay, so the different, and that's a whole nother process.
I'm seeing blender and I'm seeing different, like I can appreciate the different qualities in expensive blenders because my wife cooks so much, and like she gets excited at expensive blender, and when that thing works, I mean, I can appreciate it, but coffee grinding is like a thing I don't.
Okay, so when I'm tweaking in on the Mazzer,
do you get a screwdriver out?
No, you got to unscrew a nut, and then you got a bar, and you got to hit it and start it, and you twist it. So you're just screwing down or unscrewing two blades. It's very.
How big is this grinder? We're talking like a.
I mean, it's 20 inches tall. Weighs 50, 60 pounds.
Okay, I'm still in the mind of seeing a kitchen tabletop grinder.
No. These are commercial. These are commercial grade. Yeah.
Of course they are. Nut job.
But okay. So the Malkonig, right?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, maybe they ought to sponsor me, right? So anyway, there's a little lever, and it's like click, and that's it.
This thing stands that big.
Yeah, but it just click and it adjusted. It's so super easy. Like I'm like amazed at how well it works.
So when you pour the beans in, you use this beautiful machine that you can tweak just like that, and then the ground coffee comes out. When you look at that ground coffee, like, what are you looking for to tell you that the machine's off?
Okay. So now we're getting into a whole different thing. This is what I call dialing in. Okay. So every machine needs to be dialed in. Your grinder has to match your system. Okay. My philosophy is grind it as fine as you can grind it for your machine, your espresso machine, so that when you pull a shot, you're going to get about 55 grams of extract in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
That's my goal. Okay, it's completely mathematical.
Okay, so if you're not getting that, something's off.
Something's off.
Can I ask a stupid question again?
Of course.
Okay, so you said it has to be as finely ground as possible. Is that like the more finely ground the coffee bean becomes, the more flavor it releases?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the finer the particle, think about this. If you have big particles and you have small particles, and you hit them both with water, steam, the smaller particle is going to extract quicker than the bigger particle, right?
Okay.
And so you're going to get more out of it quicker. And that's the whole point in espresso. You're trying to do all this fantastic coffee in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And so you've got to get it as fine as you can, but you can only go so fine because a lot of machines can't handle, they bog down.
Okay.
Like I can literally get it so fine that my espresso machine, I turn it on and it just drips. And 3 minutes later, it won't work, right?
Okay.
So you have to back it off. You have to make the grinds a little bit coarser. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? You're just trying to keep adjusting it until you reach the goal of about 55 grams in 30 seconds.
So you've got your coffee grinds. The finer the better. We're talking espresso. Is there a difference between espresso and coffee? Like
It's a brew. It's a brew
It's
method.
a way of brewing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you have drip filtered coffee, you have paper filters, you have metal filters, you have for our Vietnamese iced coffee, we use a thin filter, and it's just basically a metal filter.
Do you have a preference?
Espresso.
You like espresso?
Yeah.
Is that what you consider to be like the real way to do it?
I love espresso. I mean, I'm okay. I like to drink a good cup of high-end specialty single origin coffee, and my preference is to do it as a pour over.
A pour over.
Yeah, a pour over.
What's a pour over?
Okay, that's a bougie way of of saying I'm gonna do like Grandma did back in the 1800s and just pour water over a sock, and the coffee grinds were in the sock, and it went through and filtered through and got into the pot. Well,
Yes.
that you're basically doing what they did in the 1800s.
Okay.
But it's a little more sophisticated now.
That's very cool. I'm starting to feel very, like, it makes me sad now looking at this coffee. I'm picturing in my head my little office percolator back there dripping away. Like, does the bold button on that do it? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so sad now to watch that percolator just drip, drip, drip.
No judgment here.
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, so we're talking about the best cup of coffee, and it's espresso for you, and it's a system. And I guess a lot of this is subjective as well. You do that for every cup you serve.
It's a
at the farmer's
method,
market?
and I do every cup. So the way we have been able to, okay, I probably shouldn't say this, but when we were running one system, and I was using my La Marzocco at the time, and we were pulling so many shots, it would stop working.
Wow.
It would just shut down. It goes, I had enough.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not going to work anymore, and I'd have to wait 20 minutes. Do you know how hard that is for someone trying to make a living, waiting on your coffee system to cool down, and you see customers passing by, and you're going like, oh, this ain't gonna work, right? And so,
How'd you solve the problem?
well, we bought another machine.
This is like, $4,000, $8,000, whatever it is, nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can get
So
pricey.
we bought a second machine, and then we hired someone, and so now we have a young lady, Madison. She comes in, and she's fantastic. She keeps me supplied.
So you've spent 30 odd years obsessing about coffee. It's become obviously an addiction for you now, which I think is fantastic. Yeah. So so like when people, what is something you see people do that is just flat out wrong, that makes you sad with coffee, that you wish they wouldn't do?
Well, there's probably a few things.
Yeah, give me a couple.
But probably the thing that really, it just makes me sad because, okay, so I had a lady come by.
Yeah.
Here, prime example. She came by and bought a bag of Maximino's carbonic maceration. She wanted the best thing I had. I said, well, I got it right here. It's 120 grams for 25 bucks, which comes out to about $80 a pound. Okay. And she was going to take it and grind it and put it in a coffee maker, probably a Mr. Coffee maker. And I'm thinking, wow, is that going to be good? You know, and it's going to probably take the whole bag.
Yeah.
You know, so you just spent 25 bucks on a pot of coffee.
Is there anything like in like creamers or that is, I guess what I'm interested in, like, I suppose just like an espresso machine dripping out hot water over these is the most natural way to do it. You have any thoughts on creamers or?
The only kind of cream I like is we buy organic half and half.
Okay.
And I'll froth it. I'll use it as a creamer in, like, if you buy Americano.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, we only use the very best. We buy organic sugars to make all of our syrups, organic vanilla.
Yeah.
We search high and low for anything that we can get that will make our coffee better.
Do you wake up at night and have to go into your garage to get something out of your system? Like, do you think about like, or like if I do this, and then do you ever done that? Maybe?
No. I have a list.
You have a list?
I have a list.
What's the list?
It's about a page long, and everybody knows if you want something done, Grandpa, just go put it on his list. I'll go put Daddy, go put it on Daddy's list. Or, hey, babe, I put that on your list. And that's Martha, right? Yeah. And so I have a list. And then when I think of things...
It goes on the list.
It goes on the list.
Okay.
And then I accomplish, and I feel it's really self-satisfying to be able to accomplish that list. Now, I do have things that I think about for coffee, and I don't put it on any list, and I don't even tell my wife because it's going to cost a lot of money. And so, it's one of those things where you got to, like, okay, how am I going to gradually work into this?
Is that how the passion turned into a business? Like it had to?
Yes.
It did?
Well, it doesn't start with a have to. It starts with man, we have a problem, right?
Yeah, but if you're the problem, like...
Well,
I mean, I'm the problem in my family.
Like, okay, for instance, it started as a problem where the grinder we were using, the Mazzer,
yes,
was being used for my La Marzocco, which is in my kitchen now, and that's my everyday. You saw it.
Yes.
And then we have our, thank you. It is beautiful. It's a piece of art.
Yeah.
And then I have my La Cimbales, which I bring to the market.
Okay.
Well, that one grinder wasn't compatible with both of these. And remember I mentioned about how to dial in?
Yes.
Well, it's a process to dial in.
What do you mean a grinder isn't compatible with the...
Well, because of two different motors, systems. One has more power than the other. Okay. The La Cimbales are single boiler HX systems.
Yes.
And so they work differently. The La Marzocco is a dual boiler PID system, and so it doesn't have quite the power as the La Cimbales. So I have to kind of shoot for the middle on the grind so that I could use it in both areas. Okay. Well, I think what's really happening is my La Marzocco's starting to get a little weaker. And so now I'm like complaining, like, man, this grinder's just not working, and it's giving me a hassle, and I have to reset this and reset that. And so I finally convinced my partner that we should maybe get a grinder. And so she goes, well, yeah, maybe so, Well, that was a start. And so one thing led to another and ended up buying a grinder, and I'm glad I did. I really am. And I think she is too, because it's been really an eye-opener as to the difference between a German technology and an Italian technology.
So in your experience, where are the best beans in the world?
Well...
You said that the ones you like best are in India, but like, have you bought from like Ethiopia? Or...
Oh yes. In fact, that That blueberry jelly's from Nicaragua,
Okay.
and the Maximino's carbonic macerations from Nicaragua. It comes from a group called Gold Mountain Growers, and they have some really nice stuff. Really nice stuff. I mean, we're talking the best of the best.
Okay.
Well, I say best of the best. I mean, you
It's
can.
hard to pick like the best of the thing. I like to think world class. It's more of
Yeah.
a group.
Right. They are very well. I guess I look at it from a perspective of what are the flavor, the tasting notes, the quality of the bean itself. Ethiopia has some of the best coffee. They are world class.
Really?
I like that term, Stuart. That's a good term to use because even though their beans are very, very good, they're some of the best beans in the world. They're not expensive.
Really?
No, no. I mean, $6 a pound, $5-6. You might pay 8 retail. The stuff I'm getting from Gold Mountain, it starts at about $6, $7-8 on up to about $50-60 a pound. Well, you multiply that times 50, and
Sure.
you start getting some. You start getting into some big money, But the Brazil has fantastic coffee I like to use for blending. Frensda is a farmer that I really like.
Blending?
Blending. Like, I use Brazil to blend with Ethiopia to get my cold brew.
Okay. I mean, that's a whole other rabbit hole, is the blending.
Yeah,
got-
that takes you a whole different
Yeah.
rabbit trail there.
Where you headed? Where you headed? What's the plan? What's the dream? Or are you already living it?
Oh, well, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
We talked about something, and I've been mulling it over in my head, and I'm really feeling good about starting maybe a Facebook page where if I could get subscribers
Yep.
that would be interested in doing, like the very best and trying and different coffees, and I've come up with a plan, and I'll just throw it out there and see what you think.
Sure.
Let's say $100 a year, you get a bag of any coffee I have, whether it's $25 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You get that as part of the subscription. You get 20% off of any future purchases on the specialty coffees, and you get free entrance into cuppings, which I'm going to try to do every month or two.
And a cupping is just for
Okay, so a
fifth
cupping.
graders out there.
I would say so. A cupping. Well, I used to do this all the time. I get something new, like for instance, I've got that blueberry jelly, right?
Yeah.
So I throw it out there. Hey guys, I want to do a cupping. I got this new coffee. I need you to come help me.
You could even source locations from the membership, couldn't you? If you had a little like private club of these subscribers, you'd be like, who can host? Go to their house.
Yeah.
If they're willing to have,
Oh,
30,
I'd love
40
that.
Yeah.
I would love that. If we had a good group over here in Baton Rouge, I mean, we're in Crowley, but if someone in Baton Rouge wanted to host it, I'd bring my equipment, my beans, and
Count me in.
and one of the
Once you get that set up, I'll be your
yeah,
first.
okay.
Yeah.
Are you want to write the check now or later?
Yeah, I mean, I want to check right now. I will, to give you access to your coffee. It'd be like a little monthly treat or something. It'd be
Well,
amazing.
I mean, and so I have a lot of ideas on what we could do.
No, man, seriously, do that. I think to cultivate the people out there. I mean, so many people love coffee, but like wines or cigars or whatever your thing is, there are levels to it, and you are neck deep in all of that, and it's a beautiful thing what you're doing. I've tasted it. Like I said, it's best way to describe it is memorable. And so, if you can corral a bunch of people that care like that about it and appreciate it like that, you're the guy that has it. So do that.
Well, not only would we do cuppings, but I would do some training stuff too, like if you want to learn how to dial in grinders, or you want to talk about the differences in the different grinders, or if you want to talk about espresso and how to make it and what's maybe a good system, or how to put a system together, or let's talk about water. because you can have the best coffee in the world. If you got crappy water, you got nothing.
Does Baton Rouge have good water, by the
I
way?
have no idea.
I heard it's some of the best in the country.
Really?
Yeah, so there was, I mean, this is completely off subject. Well, maybe not.
No, not really. Yeah.
So we went to California, San Diego for a job, and my wife stopped by an old friend of the family's, her side of the family. And the husband apparently was involved in this whole infrastructure that we have here in water. Now, maybe it's because I was talking to the guy that was involved in putting it together that he said it's the best, but apparently it's pretty good water here. Listen, Matt, I could talk to you all day, but Father's Coffee is the company. Do you have a website?
We do. It's www.fathers.coffee. So
Okay, that was for me because I'm going to be keeping eyes on it. When you have that subscription thing up and running, let me know. We're going to join it and we'll enjoy some coffee together, man.
Well, Father's Espresso on Facebook.
Okay.
Because that's probably where I'm going to start.
Father's Espresso.
Yeah, Father's Espresso.
Appreciate you, man. It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Same here.
All right,
Thank
man.
you, Stuart.
Yeah.